Hello everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome back to another episode of OrgelCraft. Hope you guys are having a great day today. We are here, standing on the bridge of the... Haha, not yet. I promise there will be a name revealed for our Star Destroyer at the end of the episode, but for right now, it's remaining unnamed. And the reason that, well, it's not unnamed. It has a name. I'm just not telling you what it is. And the reason for that is because I have a couple of grand reveals at the end of this episode, which I promise will be worth all the waiting that has gone into this project, and the 30 or so minutes you're going to have to wait to get there. But we have work to do today because, of course, we didn't actually finish the structure of our Star Destroyer in the last episode. We got so close. But it has no back. Yep, in Hermitcraft style, we didn't do the back. Unlike Hermitcraft style, that's right, I'm throwing shade at content creators who are much larger than I am. We are finishing the back of this Star Destroyer today. And not only that, but we're actually going to do some detail work on it as we go. We're going to put the engines in and try to figure out some of the details. I don't promise it's going to be fully detailed, because obviously there's still a massive amount of work that needs to go into this. I mean, I think this thing is still like 500 some blocks long. I mean, let's see. It's taken 2 rockets just to reach the center of it. So, yeah. So, I definitely have a long way to go in terms of getting this done. And this is currently all the stone I have to my name, so I'm probably going to have to do more mining, because I don't think I have enough to at least fill in this back area. So, anyway, we are going to jump right into building here so that we can get on to the good stuff. I'm going to start by finishing the stonework outline of the I don't know what to call it, the stern, but where our engines are going to be going. So that is the first priority, and let's jump into that time lapse. back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the time-lapse. The back is finished! Well, the back is closed in. Quite a lot of stone went into that, but got there in the end. And I am liking how things are looking as we fly out to see the end islands. But yeah, there it is. So I was using Mini HUD to kind of generate my lines for the lower section, which is why we kind of have this little ridged area, which I really kind of actually like how that turns out. As I started working on the top, though, I realized that I could just do a straight diagonal, so I simplified. And as we're going to do some detail work and cover a lot of this anyway, I decided that it would be fine to do it that way. So we got a little bit of texture work here, and then we'll work on the top as we go along. So the next part of this process is the engines, which you can see I have kind of mapped out here. If we pop into FreeCam, I've been doing just kind of some rough ideas of where our engine needs to go, and I think this looks pretty good. So it comes out a decent way. It doesn't come all the way to the back here. It will stick out more when we do the ones on either side. So there are 3 of these engines here, and these are the main engines, and then there are 4 smaller engines that tuck in here, and then on the opposite side of this one. So what we've got here is we've got the main circle, and then there's a smaller section that basically comes straight back. I didn't do the full circle here, but this will basically come straight out, and then it's got a little bit of a taper out here. And so that is what we're going to work on, and then of course we got to fill in the interior with the actual drive. So I've been trying to think about materials for this part, and as I've been looking at some pictures and thinking things through, it's definitely similar in color. What I'm kind of toying with is like the section up here where it actually attaches to the hull. I think that I'm going to maybe do that with some light gray concrete. And then I haven't decided what for this point. I think that's going to be too solid to go from there, so I don't know if I want to do like a stone variant or maybe some kind of mixture of things. So I'm going to have to play around with a palette a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's work on that together. I think that I have stone in some of these. Oh, maybe I've used it all. Apparently, I've used it all. Okay. All right, so I have grabbed some blocks here to use as a possibility, and let's just kind of take a look at this. So these are kind of our gray blocks that we have to primarily work with. I feel like I'm maybe missing something here. So we've got our stone bricks, our polished andesite, our regular andesite, our light brown concrete, our cyan terracotta, and then our... Did I say brown? Gray. Light gray concrete and then gray concrete. And I'm maybe wondering about like a gradient. And then the other thing that I wonder is if we were to stick that. Yeah, I think that is 1, too textured, and 2 doesn't really fit. Let's try... What if we stick that in between the cyan and the gray? How does that work? Definitely not there. But what about maybe between the gray, light gray, and the cyan? No, it really doesn't work. Okay, I kind of grabbed that on a whim and thought, oh, maybe that would be a possibility. Nope, definitely not. That's not what I wanted there. So I wonder about maybe like a... My tools are not where I'm expecting them to be. I wonder about maybe like primarily using stone and polished andesite. No, Because the problem with the polished andesite is that it has this border on it, and I don't think that's going to be quite what we want. We're not going to get something that is perfectly smooth. The problem between these is that when you go to concrete, concrete is such a solid texture that it's a little bit jarring. And then going from stone to the cyan terracotta is a very big color shift. And of course, it would be nice to have concrete powder, but with how we're working there, concrete powder is not going to be an option because we won't have any way to support it. I mean, I could use string, but I don't want to. I guess another possibility would be light gray wool. Let's grab, do I have wool in any of these boxes? I do not have light gray, but I do have, it's in here. What I need, though. Let's see, sorry. Getting distracted. So let's go light gray, and then we're just gonna dye that. So what if we incorporated some light gray wool? Not there, but I think it would work there. And then that's a decent transition. Now, let's maybe actually take that one step farther. And I have gray dye, so what if we dye... Nope, I think that's going to be too dark. Yeah, that actually looks darker than the concrete. I also don't know how much of a gradient I want to go with. I like this. I'm not wild about this. What if we take that out? No. What if instead of that we went directly to the cyan? That might be okay. And then I'm just not sure, like, how much we want to do a gradient, or if we just want to keep it simple. Maybe the way to go is gray, the cyan terracotta, the gray concrete, and then mix in just a little bit of the wool, just to give a little bit of contrast. This might work. And I don't think the light gray wool will fit in here. No, that's too light. Okay. I'm also trying to think about, like, materials and how much I'm going to need. But I feel like this could be decent. Yeah, I tell you what, let's do, because I think that my wool farm is actually producing gray wool. Of course, I don't have shears, so that's not helping. And then one of these I thought had... Okay, we've got a little bit more of that. And do I have any more cyan terracotta? No, I've got plenty of gray concrete. I do not have a lot of cyan terracotta. And considering that that's what I want to start with, that's a problem. Yeah, so we have plenty of this. Unfortunately, I don't have any terracotta here, which means I would need to go back for it. What I'm trying to, like, I want to, like, lay it out together, but I do not appear to have the resources that I need. The other thing I was wondering was about deep slate possibilities. I think the problem with deep slate is that, one, the blocks are going to be too textured, or two, if we go like with the polished, that it's going to have the edge on it that I don't want. Yeah, I don't think deep slate is going to be an option. All right, let me go grab some more terracotta, and then we'll see what this looks like. I've made a little game out of trying to fly through this one block hole here. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, nope, missed. Figures as soon as I try to do it on camera. Anyway, resources acquired. I don't think I'm going to make it. Oh, I made it. Yay. Okay. So let's grab all of this here. Now this is, I have to do my math. I believe 36 blocks from like where that ring starts out to this one. So if that's the case, I want to do primarily cyan. So let's go. So 36 would be 12, 12, and 12. So let's maybe do... Let's say I know I have more cyan terracotta than that. Let's try 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Those are in the wrong places. Fix that up real quick. No, that's correct. Okay. I'm not sure that number is correct. 18, I think, might be a little much. Well, let's go... Tell you what, let's do it this way. Let's come out here. And let's do 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's maybe make it 6. And how does that look? I think that looks pretty good. And then I'll have to do this, you know... To make it a gradient, I'll have to like blur the lines between the two. So I'll kind of have to work on that as I go. And then, oh, what I did not account for was, I think... So what if we do... So what if we replace... So it's going to be here. So let's take that out and... I don't know where that torch went. There we go. Oops, that's not going to work either. Let's put that there. And then we do this here. I'm out already. If we do that, and then we have that change to the cyan terracotta. You know what? I think that looks okay. I think that's how I'm gonna do this. So we will do the cyan terracotta along there. Yeah. And then I think I'll do the light gray concrete there. All right, so I think this is gonna work. Now I just need to build the whole thing. So, and we didn't talk about the interior, so maybe let's get the exterior done, see how it works, see if I like it, and then we'll worry about the interior, and then we'll get the other two made. Do you ever get an idea in Minecraft, build that idea regardless of how large it is, and then decide that you actually wanted to do something completely different? So this is what I designed for the engine the first time around. This we talked about doing the gradient from the cyan terracotta to the gray wool to the gray concrete, and then doing the, like the little smooth transition between the two. So I started playing around with that, and it was coming along okay, but then I had another idea. And so I pulled this into my creative testing world to see what it looks like. And it looks like this. And this looks so much better than anything I could have come up with a gradient that I've decided that this is what I'm going to do. Unfortunately for me, I've already built the whole thing. Yeah, so, I'm not going to survive very long if I take off with one rocket. Let's fix that real quick. Apparently I'm completely out of rockets. So yes, so we have one engine completely done here. I need to fly out just a little bit farther. Well, I say completely done. I have it built, and it looks really nice. The size is good. It fits really, really well in here. But yeah, I've decided that I want to do it a little bit differently. So the good news is that I don't have to tear the whole thing down. I can work with what's here. The bad news is this is a big area that I have to work in. But anyway, before I get into fixing all of this and doing the others, I thought that it would be worth figuring out what we want to do for the rest of it so that I can have the design complete, and then when I get to the other ones, I can just build from the ground up and get that done. So, I think that what I want to do, if I have any of this, so I realized that we needed a little bit that was sticking off the end here. And so I came up with, and I decided to use the deep slate bricks, and I actually think it looks pretty good. Plus, it is also a nice little callback if I'm not going to be able to render this in. It's a nice little callback to our Corellian Corvette, which I actually also use these around the engines. Now, I'm sure they're made by different shipyards, but you know what? We're going with it. But what I was kind of thinking was, I think that we're going to use some cobbled deep slate from here to be like the interior of the engine. I think it's a nice texture. It's one that we don't really need to do anything with, but to just kind of fill it in around where our the inside of the engine is going to go. I think it'll work well. And so then, as to the rest of the engine, we're going to do a whole bank of sea lanterns, and then we're going to do glass, layered glass on top of it to kind of get the effect we wanted. I don't know if I have enough or any glass here. It looks like I have enough sea lanterns, so that's a good thing. I have no glass. Okay. That's fine. What I want to do is I want to do a combination of blue glass. No, that's black stained glass. I might be able to use that. If I have any... Wait, I think I put a dye box in my ender chest. I did not. You'd think I'd have brought one here, but yeah, I bet I did not. Oh, what was in there? Oh, it's more light blue. Yeah, so then the plan is to do, a bunch of sea lanterns like that. And I'm not in creative anymore. I've been working in creative for a little while. And then I kind of want to do something along the lines of this. And it's not going to be completely even, because I want the colors, like, it's going to be more white to the center, and then it'll kind of fade to blue. So I'm not entirely sure exactly how I want to do this. I think I'm going to kind of have to play around with it as I go. But this is the effect that we're going for. Actually, having said that, maybe we do something like this. So maybe we start with the white, and then we have, like, maybe a couple layers of that, but then we do like, light blue there, and we have like a little bit of a gap, and then we go a little bit wider, and we go out from there. That might have the effect I'm looking for. And of course, I'm going to do multiple layers of each of these, so you kind of get that fog effect. But I think that this is going to be the way to go. And then I'll have to figure out how many layers of all of that I want. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and put together the interior of the first engine. I will bring you guys back and show you what that looks like, and then we will jump into a time lapse to actually build the other two and fix the first one. And our engine is ready to go. Looks kind of lonely all by itself, but don't worry, it'll get better. So this is what we've got. So I just did rings of cobbled deep slate, and I really like how this looked. And then we did all of the sea lanterns. I ended up doing 3 layers of glass. So I've got blue glass, one layer of blue, and then 2 of light blue, and I think it looks pretty good. I probably want to add a little bit more glass to this in the future. However, this was over an entire shulker box of glass, and when I think about the fact that I need to replicate this 2 more times in order to get this episode done, I don't have the time or resources to do any more than that. So this is what we're going with for this episode, and I added the sea lanterns throughout to light it up, and I think it looks okay. Are there other ways we could probably hide lighting? Yes, but I think it works. And I also decided to just have a little bit of fun and throw some deep slate diamond ore, the most beautiful block in the game, in here. I thought that was fun. Again, that's something else I will probably add a little bit more to, and I have around 2 stacks of it. But I didn't want to use too much because I'd like to feature it in other places. So we just added 1 layer there, might add more in the future. But that is that. And yeah, it's looking good. So I need to get my schematic together so that we can get the outside of this done. I realized as I was just looking at this, I've got torches along here, and I need to figure out a lighting option. Actually, I was thinking, it's going to be a problem because I could potentially work it in with the carpet or with the wool and then just put carpet on top of some lighting. I was like, but that doesn't fix the problem of the bottom. Well, the bottom nothing is going to spawn upside down. So that might be an option. I will have to play around with that and see. But anyway, I need to go gather a whole bunch of resources. I don't know why this torch is still here. Yeah, I need to go gather a whole bunch of resources, and then we will jump into a final time lapse to get the other 2 engines built. these days, I'm going to learn to not overcommit to a project and then under-deliver. I've done that many times in this series. One of these days I will learn. Today is not that day. Next week isn't looking good either. I'm kidding. Yeah, so the third engine didn't get finished. The other two took way more time and tons of resources. I had to grind resources for a good 3 hours. We're definitely going to work on some infrastructure in the next episode. Yeah, the detailing didn't get done. The other 4 mini engines didn't get done. Do you want an episode or do you want completion? Yeah, so the plan is that we will finish that third engine up during live stream this week. And then, not sure what else. It's going to depend on how long that takes, to be honest. Yeah, we might just grind for some resources. So, got some couple good projects planned for next week that shouldn't be anywhere near as invasive. Just a couple of little farms that we're going to do that will help things go smoother. So I have a couple of reveals to end this episode. One of them is something that I had hoped I would be able to work from the beginning of this season, and something that I am able to do, but I have been waiting for the right moment. And now that the back is on the ship, I believe the moment is right. So, of course, the whole point of building a Star Destroyer in the end was it looks like space. Well, it kind of looks like space, but it can look better. So for those of you who have been around the channel for a while, you know that I have been working with a little bit of a modded series, and in that modded series I'm using Better End. And the Better End sky looks like this. And so when I was playing through that pack and working on that series, I knew that I really needed to pull the sky from there into here. So we are now running the Better End mod. Now, I will put a little caveat on that. Yes, I am running the mod. I intend to do no exploring of the end with the mod on, because there are a number of different biomes that are added to the mod. There are tons and tons of new blocks and mobs. I've not done extensive testing to make sure that no other mobs are going to spawn here on the Central End Island, but they shouldn't. At least I'm hoping that's the case. But yeah, so I'm not intending to use any features of the mod other than just having this sky. And if I can ever figure out how to just pull the sky, I will do that. Yeah, I really don't need to explore the end. I don't need shulkers, which is about the only reason to go to end cities anymore. Plus, I have explored massive amounts of the end to begin with. But yeah, I think this looks so cool and really appropriate. So here's our Star Destroyer. Complete in terms of all of the sides put in, obviously nowhere near finished in the details. But so I promised at the end of the last episode a reveal of the ship's name. I asked you to take a guess at what you thought the name of this Star Destroyer might be. I gave you the hint that it was the name of a song, it was a single word, it's one of my favorite songs, and it wasn't Disney. Well, I can now introduce to you the Indomitable. This is our ship. I think it's an appropriate name for a Star Destroyer. And we will go ahead and officially christen our ship the Indomitable. That was kind of anticlimactic. I'm realizing there's one other thing that I didn't do, and it was figure out how to get rid of this torch spam. I started playing around with it, but wasn't really able to come up with a great way to get it to work for all of the layers. So that is something that I will also be working with. I'm contemplating retexturing a couple of trapdoors for some of the interior stuff, so that may be something that I do and work around a little bit later. So, because obviously we have a lot of torch spam that we need to get rid of. So, yeah. So that'll be an ongoing project. We'll figure out how to do that. I do have one final reveal for this episode. And that is, now that we have the entire thing finished off, I want to reveal just how many blocks went into building this. So go ahead, pause the video, down in the comments, take a guess at roughly how many stone blocks you think I have placed in putting this Star Destroyer together. Okay, have you made your guess? I feel like I need to land for this. Dun da da da. 592,269. Woohoo! I knew it was a lot. I did not think it was more than 500,000 blocks placed. And we're just getting started. Yeah, so that is our grand total, and of course that doesn't include, you know, stone blocks that I have had to tear out, because I've redone a couple of things here and there. Doesn't include all the deep slate that I have placed in various places. It doesn't include all the blocks that I placed for these engines that we built today. I suspect that by the time the season is over, we're probably going to have placed well over 1 million blocks for this build. But guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode. I know it's been a little bit of a long time coming. I've had lots of things going on, and it was a bigger project than I anticipated, but so happy with how it has turned out, and so glad to finally be in a place where we'll be able to start working on some smaller things and really starting to move forward with the season. So I'm looking forward to getting back to weekly episodes. I'm sure you guys are as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.